Hello and welcome back to the Spoogli channel, and I am not wearing the same outfit I was in last video. Totally not. And it was totally not filmed on the exact same day. In this video, I'm going to be explaining to you level 106 of the Backrooms, also known as the Progressive Decay. This is a super OG level in the fan base. It's been there for like 5 years, and I figured that I should go ahead and talk about it since it's next up in line for the Spoogli Summer Spectacular. It's got some weird lore, some weird layouts, and overall it's just a strange place. So sit back and relax, grab a Dr. Pepper, maybe a bucket of popcorn, and let's get into the explanation of Backrooms level 106, and let's take a journey down its expansive hallways, shall we? Level 106 has been given a class 4 difficulty rating for it being unsafe and unsecure with a strange and small entity count throughout. You'll see what I mean later. It was discovered on an unknown date by an unknown person, and it's actually only been seen a handful of times by a handful of people, which means that the description we have of the layout is likely not even complete, but I will be giving it my best effort as I always do. What we know so far is that the level appears to be an endless series of hallways that interconnect and are specifically claustrophobic, small, and skinny. Many of these areas seem to be storage closets with large racks of storage, and other places like computer labs and bedrooms and kitchens. There are 3 main parts of the level that have been written down so far, and each of these areas seem to be infinitely long in one direction and not in another direction, and even though they're actually very skinny, meaning they sprawl out forever, probably, but they're still pretty close together. Each of these 3 main parts is stacked on top of each other in 4 different levels, and you can access these different levels by a series of carpeted staircases. Each of these 4 floors shares one single similarity, and that's that the further you venture from the nexus of that floor, the more decayed the surroundings are going to get, and the more strange and weird the effects will be as well. Okay, now that the groundwork and overall layout is laid, now that you understand how it looks, let's get into each of those 3 parts and each of the 4 levels, and let's talk about where this weirdness comes from. Section A is first, and this is thought to be the safest out of those 3 different parts, mainly because it lacks the entity presence that the others have. The rooms inside of this section are listed out as follows. There are kitchens, storage closets, bedrooms, and sometimes a computer lab and generator room. Like I said, these different sections sprawl out in one horizontal plane for an infinite amount of distance. So you can pretty much walk through the entire section A in one place, yet you're gonna have to crawl through the different rooms to get to the different ones. And these can change at inconsistent increments, and there's really no easy way to map out which one you'll get to first. But walking through the cramped areas, you'll likely see random computers on the shelves or onto desks or even computer labs themselves. Usually these are old dinosaur computers and they're thick, but they're fully functional, although we cannot access what's on them because in order to log onto the computer, you need a password, but none have been found and no one's been able to hack into it, so we don't know how to access the information. Theories on what's on the computers range from secret information about the Backrooms to other things, like the exit to the Backrooms. It's just that no one knows how to get inside of it, so it's not really useful to learn about the computers much. There are also randomly appearing TV sets that are fully functional as well, but they're only functional when they play a loop of the movie The Adventures of Mark Twain. That's the only thing that these TVs can play. And the specific clip that's playing from the movie is when the Satan character, which by the way is terrifying and it gave me nightmares as a child, when that Satan character starts wreaking havoc on the clay people by killing them over and over and over again. And at the very end of the clip, Satan says, "We can make more if we need them." And then the TVs will cut to static, and then they'll replay if you walk past it. The TVs themselves will only come on once someone or something walks past them. It's like a motion detection thing. And like I said, they only play that specific clip from the movie over and over. But knowing that these TVs are motion censored is pretty unique and useful, because if you see one on out in the distance, like way in front of you, but you haven't walked past it yet, that means something just walked by, and it's probably not a good thing. Walking even deeper into section A, you'll probably run into the kitchens, and these are sporadically installed old late 1990s style kitchens that often have appliances that are left on, like ovens heating up or sinks running water or microwaves spinning, things like that. The reason for this is unknown, and and who did it is also unknown. It's worth noting that all of these rooms have an older design aesthetic to them, and no new construction is available. They seem to have that late 80s, late 90s type of design in their walls and their wallpaper, and overall just technology. Through this entire section of Section A, the lights barely work, and most of the areas are very skinny and tight, with shelves and box debris being in the way of your path forward. This can lead to extreme difficulty in traveling if you're not careful, and if you don't have a light with you, some of the areas could be pretty hard to see in. But eventually, after walking through Section A, you'll likely find a staircase that leads down to Section B, and Section B is considered to be moderately more dangerous than A. The rooms here are the same ones you found in the first section, nearly identical. You got your kitchens, your offices, your storage areas, things like that. Except in Section B, everything is more old and everything's more decayed and forgotten. Shelves and the countertops here and the kitchen appliances all have dust, and the electronics don't work. And this is also a place where entities will begin to spawn more frequently, especially in these darker areas. Since Section B is further away, there are more areas that are pitch black. Clumps and smilers and wormlings are all pretty common things to see in these clusters. After walking through this slightly more cruddy and dark section, you'll eventually find another staircase that leads directly down to darkness. This darkness is Section C, and as you can guess, of course, Section C is the most dangerous one to venture inside of. The rooms here are old and decrepit, and the lighting doesn't work at all. There's just no light. And rather than everything looking abandoned and decayed, here in Section C, it's just been abandoned. Like, there's literal plants that are growing through the technology and weeds wrapping around everything, almost as if nature is taking it back. Entities lurk here in Section C very often and in much denser clusters, and the rooms are barren. They don't have the TVs, they don't have the computers, the shelves are not full, everything seems smaller and more claustrophobic and more squished together, almost like you're going deeper into a wormhole or a rabbit hole and you're getting closer to the bottom. And again, that makes it much more strenuous to try to make it through. An oddity that you're going to experience in any section of this level is the feeling that you're being watched, like something staring at you just from out of view. You can't really see what it is, but you know something's there. And this is very common throughout most Backrooms levels, but specifically here in level 106, it can get to the point where it can actually induce paranoia and delirium into wanderers. The paranoia is so present through all of the sections, but it gets worse as you go further down and away from the light. This is done through one of two things. One is that you're just scared that you're in this terrifying Backrooms level, because it makes sense. I mean, you would be scared being here. But number two is that there's something else at play. A more sinister thing or something lurking beyond the shadows is watching you, which leads to the proposed entity that lives here. Now, this entity is not confirmed to exist, and it's been nicknamed the Schrodinger entity. And essentially that means that there's just no evidence on if it actually is real or if it's fake, if it's alive or dead. It's just proposed because how else could you explain away the feeling of being watched if you can't see anything? The entity is assumed to be a sort of shadow walker who can blend into small and skinny places and hide just out of sight where the humans can't see. It's said and whispered to consume the flesh of people for sustenance, and it relies on paranoia and ambushing to hunt down its prey, which are humans. It's assumed that the entity is pretty strong and pretty cunning because it knows where to hide, and it must know the entire layout of the level because people haven't been able to see it, but many people have gone missing while venturing into the much deeper areas. Evidence for the Schrodinger entity is not concrete, but circumstantial evidence is. Like I mentioned earlier, some people see random TVs turning on far out in front of you, even though you haven't walked there yet. It could be this entity walking past, and that paranoia feeling is probably evidence that this thing's watching you. Like I said, that's not actual evidence, it's just vibes, but that's why it's called Schrodinger's entity, because we don't know if it exists or not. I mean, I think this level is pretty terrifying, even if it doesn't exist. I think the fact that we're not sure if it does makes it even scarier somehow. Maybe. If you want to enter this level for some reason, I don't know why you would, but I can't even tell you, because we don't know the entrance. It just happens at random, but that leads to the thought that maybe the entity is more powerful than we think, and it sends people here as like a game, similar to Johnny back in the other level. And the only known way of escaping this labyrinth is by finding a staircase in the level C area, which is the third one down, and going down to it and opening the doors there. And once you do that, you'll be in a different level, away from the Schrodinger entity and away from the skinny gloomy, claustrophobic halls of level 106. This level is one of those classic ones. It's simple, it's got uncanny lore, it's got a strange entity, maybe? We don't even know. So if you like that OG kind of level, I'm sure you enjoyed this one. That's it for my explanation of the level, though. I don't want to keep you here too long. I'm sure you have really important things to do. But thank you all for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you want to see more videos just like this, turn the notification bell on, as I upload them like 4 times a week. You know the drill by now. I've been doing this for like 5 years. I love and appreciate each and every one of you, and I just want to say thank you for all your support. I cannot wait to show you what's coming. I got some big plans, some huge plans. I just want you to lock in, get ready for them. But with all that said, I'll go ahead and end off the video here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.